Today, I'm reviewing the EuroStable EA. The grid-based EA we've been running on a $1,000 live account with solid results. Based on these results, I'll be placing it onto a trading.com account. But will a grid-based EA work in an account with a strict drawdown rule? In this video, I'll show you the live results, explain how the EA works, and discuss whether a grid robot like this is too risky for a funded account. Let's get started. So on my screen at the moment, what you can see is our live account, and this account started on the 19th of June. Today is the 26th of August, and you can see that there have been a lot of trades in that time, and that overall we are on quite a nice profit. So the balance is just over $1,000, which means that our profit in the account is 102. So that's just over 10%. So that's pretty good. What we can also see, and this is quite important to note, is that all of the trade sizes are the same, right? So every trade is opening with 0.01. Even though it is a grid system, we have disabled the martingale, and I'm going to show you that in a second when we look at the settings. But you can see that every one of these trades has opened with the same size. Now, if we look on the screen here, you can see that here are a number of long trades that have opened and closed. Here are a few more long trades that have opened and closed. And something else that I noticed when looking through the trades is that there's these sort of consecutive buys, and then there's a whole lot of sells, and then there are a lot of buys and a lot of sells. So it seems like this is definitely some kind of a trending EA, or an EA that trades the trend. And yeah, overall it seems to be working quite well. Let's take a quick look at the settings. Now, this is a MetaTrader 4 robot, and there is no MetaTrader 5 version. So let's have a quick look at the properties. And what we can see is that we've got an auto lot of 1. So that is 1% risk. The martingale here, it is set to 1.0. Now, with these EAs and the others from the same vendor, if your martingale, if it is set to 1.0, that means that the martingale is off. So it will still trade grid, but not the grid martingale. So it's not going to continuously double your entry lots to try and recover a losing trade, which can get very risky and can obviously either hit the drawdown quite quickly or blow the account. Okay, you'll see that you can also set a stop loss. Take profit is set as 50. So these are default settings, and you can see you can also change the steps, max open trades, which is also quite important when trading with a grid, to set that appropriately to mitigate or to manage your risk. And then there are a few other settings. So not a lot of settings. These are basically all the settings that you can change. So a little bit simple, but it seems to be working effectively. So I'm quite happy with that. Okay, let's take a look at the FX Blue track record for this account. And that is right here. And you can see I've actually already got it set to equity. So you can see that it is a pretty smooth balance line. The equity line is also very smooth. There was this little drawdown here, really not very significant. You can see that the balance went from 1,024 to 981. So like sort of 3.5–4%. So really nothing too bad. And the rest of the time, it sticks very, very close to the balance line. If we look at the account statistics, what we can see is that, again, we're trading this quite conservatively, but even so, we're still getting an average of 5% a month with a very, very good profit factor of 3.24. So based on these results, I'm pretty confident to put it onto a trading.com account. So let's take a look at the vendor's website, and it's this here, and I will link to it down below in the description with a coupon for a discount if you want to buy the robot. So if we look at the vendor's page, you can see that it does do a number of other EAs, and we have traded and reviewed a few of these, but what we're looking at is the EuroStable. So there is a track record that we can click on, which will take us to the My FX book. What we can see is that it's got a very, very smooth balance line and a pretty good looking equity line as well. Just based on this, I don't see a lot of very big drawdowns. If we look at the stats, we can see that the biggest drawdown was 23%. So with these particular settings, this wouldn't be very effective, or this wouldn't be very suitable for a trading.com account, because we are limited to a 10% static drawdown. But just based on these results, you can see that there's over 6,000% of gain since March of last year. So I mean, that's insane. I'm going to assume that this has got a martingale, and not only a martingale, probably quite an aggressive one, which is not the way I'm going to trade it. But having said that, if you are somebody who likes to take big risks in your trading, you might prefer to trade it this way. I don't. So let's go back to the vendors page. We'll go back to the home page, and what you can see is that there are a number of EAs here. So as you can see, this vendor has got several EAs, and we're trading with a few of them. We've already reviewed those, and we'll be reviewing others and sharing our results. So if this type of content is what you're after, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss an upload. Now, as mentioned, I'm going to be placing this on a trading.com account. Now, trading.com is one of the instant funded platforms that we trade with, so you can get instant funding with it. And how it works, very briefly, is that you've got the option of $1,000, $2,500, or a $5,000 deposit, and in the various stages that gets multiplied. So if we look down at the bottom here, you can see that in stage 1, it gets multiplied 10x, stage 2, 20x, stage 3, 40, stage 4, 80, and stage 5, 200x. So what does that mean? That means that if, for example, you go with a $1,000 account, which is what we're going to be doing in this case, you will get 10 times the balance to start trading with. So we're going to deposit $1,000, and for that, we're going to get $10,000 to trade with. Now, there are, of course, advantages and disadvantages to this. The advantage for this is that you get much more capital to trade with. So you have more opportunity to make profits and bigger profits. And we've done the maths on this. If you missed that, I'll link to a video down below. I get a lot of comments where it says that you should rather take the money and just invest it into a live account because you don't have all the rules. And there is some merit to that. And that's why we do have a lot of live accounts. But there's definitely advantages to trading it this way. Now, in stage 1, basically what happens is you have a 10% static drawdown limit. So your drawdown limit is $1,000. But once you get to 20% profit in the account, you get 80% of the profit, so you'll get $1,600 back as profit, but you'll also get upgraded then to stage 2. So you'll move on to stage 2. And in this case, you're going to get 20 extra initial deposits. So you're going to go up to 20,000 as trading capital. Your static drawdown remains the same. And at the end of that, again, you're going to get 80% of the profit split. So once you get to the next profit target, you're going to get 80% of the profit split, and you'll move on to stage 3. And as you can see, it goes up from stage to stage, but profit split does go down because obviously the account gets significantly bigger as you move. So based on the results that I've seen in the live account, with the drawdown being a maximum of about 3 or 4% so far, I feel pretty comfortable and pretty happy to put it onto one of these accounts, which I will do tomorrow. Now, there is one thing that I do want to mention about the EA or the vendor and all of these EAs. My colleague Sam recorded a video recently about the multi-pair EA, and he mentioned this as well. But if you missed that, it is quite important, so I do want you to be aware of it, and that is the refund policy. So if we go down to the bottom, you can see that there is a refund policy link here, and essentially what it says is that this is a digital product. We send it to you via email, and it is not possible to be returned. But in the same breath, they say that refund or exchange is applicable only when the product is defected from the time of signing after submitting the agreement. So essentially what they're saying, from what I can understand, is that unless there's an actual problem with the robot, with the algorithm, with the software, if it doesn't open and close trades, if it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, you could get a refund in 48 to 72 working hours. However, if the EA is not profitable, if you are not happy with its performance, there is no option to get your money back. So just something to be aware of when you purchase robots, and just be aware of it if you are interested in this robot. As I said, based on our results in our live account, I think the EA is promising and probably worth the potential risk, but again, just something to be aware of. So as mentioned, I will now be placing it onto a trading.com account, and I'm going to use the same settings that I've got in the live account. You can keep an eye on the performance as well as any of the other accounts that we are trading using the links down below. I'll also leave a link to trading.com and the vendor's website, including a discount code if you want to buy the EA. If you have any questions, please let me know down below in the comments. And if you want to see a free EA that I'm trading on a live account, check out this video here. As always, thanks for watching, trade safe, and I'll see you soon.